Prosper log. Show date 14/11/28. I'm mixing it up a little bit this week for my unofficial sponsor of this week's entry, which is folks over at Beer and Song of the Day, with which this song belongs to. Hosted by my good friend Josh Baker. He is getting ready to record his 1000th episode. He's been doing the show since January 17th, 2012, starting 12/01/17, if you will. Josh, Love Doctor, congratulations to you on an epic milestone, and as always, a prosperous salute to you. Alright, that being said, let's bust out this week's beverage of choice, shall we? Comes from my neighbor from yesterday. Comes from my neighbor who was a guest yesterday. Angry Orchard Crisp Apple Hard Cider. 5%. Proper beer consumption apparatus. Proper opening apparatus. Proper technique. There we go. Not bad.
I'm just trying to make a point and make it clear.
Just right. It is just right. Well, my friends, cheers to you all. Kapwach, as they might say in the Klingon Empire. That is good. That is good. Now, folks, I had the honor and privilege of being able to record a few episodes with Josh about a little over a year ago while I was home on a vacation. Dad and I took a little side trip and we went out and recorded with him. Alright. That's enough for right now. Let us get right into the birthdays. First birthday for the week, I have yet to meet her in person, but she is about as big a Star Trek nut as I am. Sarah Kelly. Sarah, my dear, happy birthday to you. I hope I get to meet you someday in person. I hope so. You're about as big a nut as I am. Sarah, cheers to you. Next up on the list from the 26th, this is a kid I actually work with here at Earth Station, Okinawa. Talking about Corey Lewis. Corey, I hope you had a good birthday after we got off work. Hope everything worked out for you. And Corey, since you're now old enough to enjoy a beverage here at Earth Station, Okinawa, I raise one to you. Alright. Next on the list, I met this guy met this guy going on 8 years ago in Florida. I'm talking about Russell Wilson. Russell Witten. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. Russ, my friend, I hope life's treating you well. Hope you had a good birthday. Yesterday, actually. I drink to you. Next on the list. Two of them from today, the 28th. Jennifer Keisley. Now, I think I met you once or twice when we were living in Germany together. Well, don't mean that way, but Jennifer, I hope Brian spoiled you today on your birthday. And I drink to you. Alright, next up, from today, it's my cousin through 2 marriages. My cousin and my wife, the house commander, and her husband, who is my house commander's cousin, Amanda Clevenger. Amanda, I hope you had a good birthday today. I hope your Thanksgiving yesterday was excellent. And to you, I drink. Alright, next on the list. From the 29th. This is another gal I knew in Germany. She is from Indiana. I want to say, I forget where exactly you said, but you're close to Fort Wayne. Colette Rowe. Colette, I hope life's going well for you. I hope things are finally working out for you. Hope you know where you're going here soon. I drink to you. Miss the heck out of you. Alright, next on the list, this gal. This gal is a sweetheart. I went to school with her. I knew her back in the day as Heather Hetzner. She's now Heather King. Heather, I hope life's going well for you. I've seen where you've made some drastic changes in your life. Congratulations. The prosperous salute to you. Excuse me. And a drink. All right. And the last birthday of the week goes to Matt Lewis. No relation to Corey Lewis that I know of. Matt, happy early birthday to you, my friend. I hope things are going well for you. I see you've been doing a lot of diving here lately. Do you teach classes? Do you teach diving certification, or if not, do you know where I could get one? I'm sure there's plenty of places here at Earth Station Okinawa, but hit me up. Let me know. Cheers to you. All right. Birthdays done. Let's move on to some additional greetings for the week. I'm gonna go ahead and give some love to three out of my 4 house guests yesterday for what holiday is referred to on Earth as Thanksgiving. Amber Palmer Cruz, who is the lovely young lady that gave me one of these. Her lesser half Brooks Dorsey, and my good friend Victor Mustache Heckman. 3 of you, thank you all for coming last night. Thank you for collaborating with our little feast last night. It was very enjoyable. Looking forward to doing it again. And I drink to you. And last up on the list for these additional greetings, Aaron Rodgers. Not the Aaron Rodgers that throws for the Green Bay Cheeseheads. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers, the guy I know here at Earth Station Okinawa. His family is in Arizona right now, I think. Aaron, I hope you're gonna be with him soon. I hope you don't have any problems getting to him like you did last time. Excuse me. And you and I need to get together, have a few more of these, and sing some more of that wonderful music by. He's a country singer, Garth Brooks, I think. Was that his name? But no, hit me up. Let's do this again sometime. All right. Additional greetings extended. Let's move on to this week in Star Trek history. We're just looking at a few birthdays. 2 of them, unfortunately, are no longer with us. First one from the 24th, born on November 24th, 1957. The lovely Denise Crosby. She played Lieutenant Tasha Yar off and on throughout Star Trek The Next Generation, as well as her own daughter, Commander Sela. It's weird how that one works out. I will touch on that one later. She turned 57 back on the 24th. Hey, it's her golden birthday. Turned 57 years old. She was born in 57. I think that's how that works. No. Her golden birthday would have been her 24th birthday because she was born on November 24th. I think. I don't remember how that goes. Josh Baker, I'm sure to hear from you about that later. These the last 2 Star Trek birthdays from the week, both on November 25th. The first one born in 1920, Ricardo Montalban played the genetically engineered Khan in the original series episode Space Seed, and he was the only character from any Star Trek TV show to get a sequel in a movie, The Wrath of Khan. Fittingly enough. Sadly, he passed away January 14th, 2009, stardate 090114. If he was still with us today, he'd be 94 years old. And the last birthday, 6 years later, November 25th, 1926, Jeffrey Hunter. Well, who the heck is that, Commander Big McCarge Huge? He played Captain Christopher Pike in the Star Trek The Original Series pilot, The Cage, the first pilot. Sadly, he is no longer with us either. He passed away May 27th, 1969. If he were still with us today, he would be 88 years old. All right. That's the week in Star Trek history. Let's pause from Trek and let's move to my other great love, football. Now, I say great love, I'm actually using that term loosely because I am not one of these diehard fans that knows who the second draft quarterback was in the 1958 NFL draft or anything. I don't know that stuff. I do know I love my Indianapolis Colts. I'm a big fan of Peyton and Eli Manning, and I absolutely cannot stand the New England Patriots, or the New England Cheaters as I call them. All right, so let's move into this week in football. November 30th, Redskins Colts. Duh. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Titans Texans. I don't think the Titans are going to be able to pull it off. The Texans do scare me, but if the Texans lose to the Titans, there's something wrong. They're like the Titans are like 2-10, 2-11. I don't know. They don't have a good record this year. Browns Bills. Now, the Browns they have potential. The Browns really have potential. I see them being a problem here in a couple years. But they're playing the Bills. I got to go with the Browns. The Bills don't look that impressive either right now. I could be wrong. You can't use their last game against them because they were playing the Jets. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Chargers Ravens. Not a big fan of either team, but at the same time, I'm going with the lesser of two evils, picking the Chargers. Giants Jaguars. If the Giants lose to the Jaguars, they really are a fraud. They will need to do some house cleaning. Seriously. Picking the Giants. Bengals Buccaneers. Now, the Bengals are up and down. They seriously are up and down. If they lose to the Bucs, there's something wrong. I'm going with the Bengals. Raiders Rams. Congratulations to the Raiders. I believe it or not, I am happy for you that you did win a game. You won a game. Congratulations. You beat the Chiefs. You showed, hey, either the Chiefs are frauds or they're having a bad day. I think they were just having a bad day. But at the same time, congratulations to you guys, but I don't think you're going to beat the Rams. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. The Rams have beaten some good teams, but the Rams are also kind of suck. Like I said, they've beaten some good teams. So this one could go either way. I'm going with the Rams. Saints Steelers. I'm going with Steelers on this one. The Saints, you guys are just too inconsistent. Panthers Vikings. This one was actually kind of hard. This one was a tough choice. Picking yes, going with the Panthers on this one. I don't know. I've got a feeling. Cardinals Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons. Something's telling me the Falcons are going to win this one. Patriots Packers. I am never, ever, ever rooting for the Patriots. Going with the Packers on this one. This is one where I think the Patriots are actually going to lose. I think the Patriots actually will lose this one. Broncos Chiefs. The Broncos lose this one, there's something wrong. Okay? Because currently right now, they're ahead in their division. The Chiefs are right behind them, but I don't know. The Chiefs are weird this year. It's weird. Excuse me. So I'm going with the Broncos. December 1st, Dolphins Jets. The Jets suck. I am going with the Dolphins. And December 4th, Cowboys Bears. It is December time. It is time for the Cowboys to start choking and to show that they're really not playoff material. But they're playing the Bears, who we also know is not playoff material. So I'm probably throwing my money away on this one. I am rooting for the Cowboys. I'm rooting for the Cowboys. All right. Now, let us go back to the trek. Back to the trek. Historical database time. This week's episode, Shore Leave. The Enterprise arrives at a mysterious, presumably uninhabited planet, where their daydreams start coming to life. Sulu finds a gun. Captain Kirk runs into two people. Somebody dreams about a tiger. Sulu imagines a samurai. Well, needless to say, we find on this planet that their dreams are coming to life. And as events progress, Dr. McCoy ends up being killed. However, as events continue to progress and Captain Kirk starts figuring things out, we find that Dr. McCoy has been repaired and is now alive. Basically, the episode ends with everybody having enjoyed a nice rest and the Enterprise moving on to their next mission. Alright. Let us go behind the scenes. Much of this episode was being rewritten as it was being shot. Cast members recalled executive producer Gene Roddenberry sitting under a tree, frantically reworking the script to keep it both under budget and within the realms of believability. As a result, the filming of this episode went over schedule and resulted in 7 shooting days instead of the usual 6. Hey, sometimes you gotta take a little extra time to put out a quality product. This one was a good episode. It really was. I liked this one. This one was a good episode. Gene, I'm glad you took the extra time to write it, shoot it, and get it right. Congratulations. Way to go. The Prosper Salute. And much as I'm getting ready to say this, Gene Roddenberry deemed Theodore Sturgeon's original script too much fantasy and lacking believability. Gene L. Kuhn was assigned to rewrite it. However, he misinterpreted the task, and his draft turned out to be even more of pure fantasy. Roddenberry then began heavily rewriting the script, but since they had run out of time, he had to do it subsequently with the filming of the episode. That made him, in my opinion, that made the cast and that made the script and everything seem more real. The actor's portrayal of it. It seemed more real to me. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. Sturgeon's original title for this episode was Finnegal's Planet. Finnegal's Law is mentioned in Amok Time, also written by Sturgeon, and the Finnegal's Folly cocktail appears in The Ultimate Computer. Editor Fabian Torsman? I can't pronounce it. I'm going to butcher it if I try, so I'm just going to leave it at Tordman. Came up with the idea of having Finnegan continue to pop out of nowhere as Kirk pursues him. This gave the impression that there was more than one Finnegan, or, at least, that he was not quite human. The preview of this episode shows Yeoman Barrows being accosted by Don Juan while wearing her princess costume. This scene was not used in the final cut. Ooh, Don Juan has a good taste in women in this one. I know he's supposed to be a rake, a mischievous... Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But Yeoman Barrows was pretty hot. The writer of this episode, Theodore Sturgeon, commented about the installment, "That was a gas because anything could happen. Any wild idea you could possibly have could be stuck into that script. Everybody had a good time with that one." Sturgeon submitted a story outline for a sequel to this episode, Shore Leave 2, in April 1968, but it was not produced. It is unknown whether any of the concepts from that outline were later worked into the animated series episode Once Upon a Planet. I'd like to think it was, but we don't know. This was composer Gerald Fried's first Star Trek assignment. A great deal of new music was written for this episode, including the jig that plays whenever Finnegan appears. The flute and string piece that is played where Kirk meets Ruth is heard again in This Side of Paradise, and a slightly different orchestration crops up in The Apple. A snatch of Finnegan's jig can be heard in The City on the Edge of Forever after Kirk and Spock escape from the policeman. The theme can also be heard in Wolf in the Fold. A little spot there. Fried based Finnegan's theme on the Irish jig heard during the climactic fight scene during John Wayne and Victor McLagan in the classic movie The Quiet Man. The wind chime planet sound effect heard here is unique to this episode. Cool. As in Arena, the Shore Leave planet is an Earth globe previously seen in Miri, printed backwards with exotic colors added. This is the first of 2 episodes in which the ship is shown orbiting right to left. It is actually just printed backwards as the numbers on the nacelles are reversed. The second instance, and only in the teaser, is Mirror Mirror, which has been featured on the show before. Normally, the series' closing credits feature a random assortment of screen grabs from a variety of episodes, but the closing credits of Shore Leave included 5 scenes from the episode. The Enterprise orbiting the Shore Leave planet, Finnegan shouting from atop of the Vasquez Rocks, Kirk pursuing him, the Glade, and the Black Knight. Screw that Black Knight. According to Herb Solow and Bob Justman's book Inside Star Trek: The Real Story, Director Robert Spar did an excellent job on this episode and successfully managed to direct it simultaneously with the shooting script being written. However, the cast disliked working with him, which resulted in this episode being his only Trek assignment. According to Justman, the challenging task of directing the complicated episode literally hours after the script arrived made Spar not concentrating enough on the actors, hurting their egos. Justman tried to bring Spar back to the series in the second season, but it didn't come to fruition. Actors and their egos, I tell you what. Except for the Menagerie Part 1 and Part 2, the reorchestrated theme for the opening credits begins with this episode and remains for the rest of the season. Unique to this episode, the handles of the phaser pistols are painted black. Really? No, I'll have to go back and double check that one. Paint was also applied to some of the rocks and trees, which have been doctored with streaks of red spray paint, presumably to make them look more exotic. This technique can also be seen in A Private Little War. I thought that was blood for some reason. Most of this show was filmed near Los Angeles at the Vasquez Rocks in Africa, USA. I didn't know there was an Africa, USA. I'll have to Google that. A chained tiger is brought in to appear in this episode. While the tiger never directly interacts with any of the performers, William Shatner had originally hoped to wrestle it, but was convinced it would not be a wise decision. No shit. Can you imagine William Shatner being ripped apart by a tiger? I can. There were also plans for an elephant to appear in this episode, but they never materialized. Later, production staff members often jokingly asked Assistant Director Greg Peters, "Say, when do you get to use your elephant?" That would have been pretty cool. The World War II fighter plane sequence is depicted by recycled footage from several different plane types. When it is first seen in the distance, it appears to be a United States Marine Corps Corsair with its gull wing configuration and markings. When the plane comes in closer for a ground attack, it appears to be the front of a P-47 Thunderbolt. The second plane flying in formation can be seen in that shot. Finally, for the close-ups of the cockpit and wing section, it appears to be a Japanese Zero along with Imperial Japanese aircraft markings. Who cares? We got the point. Somebody was dreaming out a plane, doing a strafing run. Guess what? Strafing run. Who cares? William Blackburn, a professional ice skater in real life, who played the White Rabbit, got the costume from Ice Capades for free. The claustrophobic Blackburn has had a really painful time wearing it, especially as costume designer William Ware Thies excuse me. As costume designer William Ware Thies had originally sewn the rabbit head to the suit. After nearly suffocating, Blackburn tore off the head, for which Thies became very mad at him. Finally, they negotiated, and Thies put the head back with Velcro. Afterwards, Blackburn had no problem with the costume. He also commented that wearing the Gorn head in Arena was even worse. I believe it. The two Starfleet cadet uniforms made for Bruce Mars and his stunt double, Vince Dedrick, were later reused on background extras in Wolf in the Fold and The Trouble with Tribbles. James Doohan does not appear in this episode. Aww. Although Kirk appears to address the Angela character as Teller early in the episode, she is played by Barbara Baldovin, Baldavin, who played Angela Martine in Balance of Terror. Her fiancé, Robert Tomlinson, died in the episode. The script name for her character was Mary Teller and was changed to Angela Martine on the set when somebody noticed Barbara Baldovin already appeared as a named character. In the closing credits, she is defined as Angela. That's true. That's true. Somebody messed up, but then again, somebody picked up the slack. Good job to whoever caught it. But, you kids, look, a deer! To whoever missed it. The original script featured Yeoman Rand as a part of the landing party, but as the character was written out of the series, she was changed to Yeoman Tanya Barrows. Also, in Sturgeon's original script, the Yeoman had a share of close scenes with Kirk. In the rewrites, Kuhn and Roddenberry changed these to feature Dr. McCoy instead and introduced Kirk's old Academy flame, Ruth, to the story. What is it with Kirk and blondes? Am I the only one that's noticed that? No. According to interviews with Bill Blackburn, he not only voiced the White Rabbit, but also did the announcements heard in Act 1, dismissing different sections of the ship for shore leave in alphabetical order. And finally, in pulp culture, Mystery Science Theater 3000 paid tribute to shore leave in their episode, The Thing That Couldn't Die. Excuse me. In the third host segment, the observers thought they were bringing people from Mike Nelson's past to visit him, but the first person they brought back was Finnegan. Accompanied by a version of his music, Finnegan tormented and beat up Mike. Kind of wish I'd been able to see that. Well, folks, that is our peek into the historical database and behind the scenes. That is all I've got, except for one more thing. I posted this up on the Prosper Facebook page yesterday about the Christmas contest. I want to see Christmas trees with Star Trek ornaments on them. Folks, post it up to the Prosper page at www.facebook.com/LLA Prosper, or for those of you that have me on Facebook, private message directly to me, please. I ask you to do this. The last day for submissions, I think I set it for the 21st of December, with voting to go from the 21st to the 24th. As I'm going to put up an album, and the picture that gets the most likes is going to win. It's going to win the contest and get some love on the special episodes close to Christmas, which will probably be Christmas night. Well, folks, time to slam the rest of this beverage of choice. Indeed, the brain cells of the average Sequest fan. All right, now, folks, it is time to set a course. It is time to break orbit and set a course for our next journey. So until then, have an awesome night or day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, name it after me. Don't drink and drive because, well, you might spill your drink. But most importantly, you might kill yourself or somebody else. And drinking and driving is dumber than being a Sequest fan. And what's dumber than that is rooting for little douchebag crybabies like Tom. Giselle won't let me go to the Pro Bowl, and I can't win a Super Bowl without a video camera, and Eli's beating me in the last two. Brady, men slapping women, racism, animal abuse, fake friends, people who welch on bets, or anyone who is a member of, supports, or defends the Westboro Baptist Church. Things like that are highly illogical, and I do not have time for that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to depart. However, as always, I ask you all, live long and prosper.